Welcome to the Nerd Enthusiast Gaming Podcast, where today we're going to be discussing the current state of the retro video game market. Why is Pokemon so expensive? The top 10 most expensive games for the Dreamcast, and also the top 10 rarest games on the PS2. And then finally, we're going to wrap things up with a pulse check, which is where me and Wes take a look at a few of our picks from different prices and compare them and discuss them briefly. With me, as always, is my good friend Wes. Wes, how you doing, man?
What's going on, buddy? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to hear it. Sad the Knicks won, but I'm glad to hear it.
My Knicks did it. Double overtime.
Gross. I'm a Sixers fan, so I don't like the Knicks very much. If you didn't know, Wes likes all the teams that I despise, so there you go.
Total opposites. That's why we get along so well.
But let's start out with just a common, open question. Before we get into that, though, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that wonderful things. Please consider supporting us on Patreon if you like what you hear today. For as little as $1 a month, you can support us over there. Everything you do as far as financially helping us goes right back into the company and helps support our shows. Wes, here it is. The retro gaming market, the way it is right now. How do you feel about it? Is it in a good place? Is it in a bad place? What are your thoughts?
I think it's in a good place. Especially from where we came from 6 years ago with COVID, where everything was super crazy expensive. I think that bubble burst, and I think we're starting to see the retro market kind of stabilize.
100%. I'm right there with you. That was the word that I was gonna use. Is it's stable. Like it's the most stable it's been in years. You know, you're seeing prices go up and down, but not like before. Like it really, when I look at like my Game Eye and I check out stuff in my collection, yes, it moves. Generally speaking, it's moving slightly upwards, slightly, not like dramatically, right? But then, I'll check it a week later. It'll dip back down. It'll go back up, but it's pretty damn stable.
Yeah, I mean, I see some rises here and there with certain stuff, and then I'll see some dips. But like you said, for the most part, it's pretty stable.
Yeah, I think it's in a great place right now. It's a good time for people to collect. It's not like, to your point, it's not like it was in COVID, like where the prices were astronomical for everything.
Bro, that was awful. Awful.
I was really not buying a lot then. I was buying more newer games then. I really cut back on a lot of my games in general because a lot of my collection is like where I want it to be. I'm still collecting stuff, but just not like, I'm not going crazy. I'm getting like a few things here and there. But I feel like most of the games that I really want on the systems that I own, I have at this point. Like there's probably a few exceptions, but
Okay.
I always have a list going. Let me be realistic, right? I can pull up a list right now on my phone, and there's probably 20 games on there. But I'm not like dying to get these games. I will casually buy them when they're a good price, and I can I find them at like a convention or something like that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Prices, convention prices are, I don't want to say they're out of control, but I guess it depends on the vendor.
It depends greatly on the vendor. I mean, especially, you go there first day, everybody wants like top dollar for everything. People are less willing to negotiate. That's why
Tell me about it.
Sundays are typically the last day of a convention. Usually that's when I buy a lot of stuff. I most always get the best deals on Sundays. Like it just happens. Like people are willing to negotiate then.
Oh yeah, because they don't want to take all that stuff home.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want, like, as we mentioned in the past, if there's something you want and it's kind of obscure, you should just get it because it's probably not going to last the first day.
It's true too.
Yeah, I think to your point, it is the vendors. Each vendor's different. Some of them are gonna like overcharge and stuff, and some of them aren't. I think for the most part, people are going like market value. And then when I run into a vendor, if they're like, I'm looking at some stuff and it's like 10% over like price charting, I'm like, well, you just want to negotiate down to price charting. Like that's not how this is gonna go. Not for me. I'm just gonna walk away.
Exactly.
Or God forbid, Wes, God forbid you get the vendors that don't even put a price on the friggin' stuff. Like, dude, I don't even look. As soon as I see that, I'm out. I'm like, later, dude. Like,
no, because they're going to make up their own price.
Yeah, they're going to grab their phone and be like, let me check.
Yep. But a lot more people are becoming more aware of price charting as far as like us collectors are concerned, which is a good thing.
I mean, price charting is not perfect, but it does give you
a guide.
Right, it gives you a guide. It gives you
Hmm.
like the fair market value, what things are currently going for. There's no better solution than it right now. It's like Metacritic, right? Metacritic is like greatly flawed,
Hmm.
but there's no better solution than it at this time. So people just like talk about Metacritic scores when talking about games. All right, Wes. So do you feel that it's like in a good place or a bad place, or all right, we talked about it being stable, but what do you think about
You know what? I think the retro market is in a good place. Only because you know what, the retro market itself, retro games in general, I should say, is becoming more popular than ever before
Yeah.
because more people are getting into retro game collecting, uh, be it nostalgia or whatever. But then you have companies like My Arcade putting out like the Atari, the Game Station Go, the Atari one, which
Mhm.
is a whole bunch of old Atari games. They're putting out a new system, which I can't wait for, which is full of Bandai Namco and Capcom games, but they're all retro.
Wait, was this part of Atari, or I'm missing
No,
something?
no, this is a brand new handheld that they're putting
Oh, a
out.
handheld. Okay,
Yeah, it's called Game Station Retro.
interesting.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
And you
It's
said
got
it's Bandai and who? Capcom?
it's Bandai and Capcom, over 200 plus games already built in. I mean, you can add more stuff to it, and tinker it and hack it, and but yeah, it's come built in with a bunch of arcade games because that's what they're known for back in the day.
That's really interesting. You've seen a bunch of like there's like retro pies and things like that, but
Mhm.
seeing like
An
Bandai and
official
Capcom do something that's pretty cool.
an official release, yeah. So I'm excited.
Nice.
So yes, I think retro market is in a good place right now.
Yeah, I'm there with you 100%. Especially with it getting stabilized, I think more people are going to be accepting of where it is currently.
Hmm.
It's always good to go to a convention too and seeing like young people getting involved and like seeing somebody in their 20s buying NES games. It's like, yeah, you weren't there when this was around. That's for damn sure. As long as that continues, that's great. But I think later on it's going to be different. In 20 years from now, it's going to be a totally different landscape.
I
So
think so too.
the 20-year thing is important to mention because retro gaming goes in 20-year cycles. So right now we're hitting the PS3 360 Wii. Me and you have talked about this for years
Hmm.
and told everybody to be buying these, and we're finally starting to see some of those prices go up, at least in PS3 and like maybe certain Wii games. 360 is mixed bag. Like there's some games that are expensive, but
True.
most of them are still pretty cheap. But people are looking for them now where
Yes.
they were not before. What's going to change is the next generation, which is Xbox One and PS4, because there were so many digital games then that I don't think you're going to have the same nostalgia for those physical copies the way that you do today. With the exception being Nintendo. I think the Switch
Yeah.
games people are still going to go. Like I loved collecting for the Switch, man. Like I think people are still going to be looking for Switch games in 15, 20
Oh,
years from now.
I think so too. I'm right there with you 100% on that one. But I'm thinking it's like you said, 10, 15, 20 years from now. I mean, we're already at the end of the physical release cycle lifespan, and it's going to be harder to I think it's going to be harder in 20 years to find these retro games.
For the like the more current consoles you're talking about,
Correct.
right? Yeah,
Correct.
because of the digital, and like that's the other problem. Like half of them aren't even like physical at all, right? Like a whole bunch of them were digital only, so you're not going to be able to go back and collect those. If your library, like these younger people, their libraries are entirely digital. Why
Hmm.
would they want to go and collect something physical? They have no nostalgia for that physical item. They do for the game, maybe, but then at that point, they would probably just, I would imagine, they would just be going towards like emulators, or if they can buy it on like whatever the PlayStation 7 digital market, like whatever the case may be.
We spoke about it before, man. I need my physical. I need something tangible in my hand. I need something that's worth something in my possession.
I'm
And
getting towards the end of that.
are you?
There's just like Xbox is gone almost completely digital, right? So I can't even talk about Xbox anymore. Like there's so few games. Even if you buy
Yeah.
a game from them, it's likely not on the disc. So Xbox is dead, in my opinion, as far as physical games go.
Don't say that.
It's true.
I
I
know.
mean, they're pushing digital, and then their physical games are like either a code in the box or there's nothing on the disc.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they're still physical, but it's like it's not the same. PlayStation is still doing a pretty good job, and then Switch with their damn key cards with the Switch 2. I made a decision at the beginning of that cycle. I'm just gonna go digital with the Switch 2, and I'm also not gonna buy as many games. I have a huge Switch collection. Like I have a ton of Switch games, and I was really excited to get the Switch 2 games. And they
Mhm.
introduced these key cards, and all the people jumped on board for the key cards. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. You lost me. Bye. So really, the only games that I'm currently collecting for is PlayStation now. Like
Okay.
that's it. And if PlayStation 6 comes out and they're like, hey, that disc drive, nah, it ain't a thing, then that's probably the end of my collecting is PlayStation 5.
Oh wow. Okay. Of new stuff.
Of new things. Of course. I'm always
Okay.
gonna go back and grab some old stuff, but I'm not gonna go
Okay.
like I said earlier, I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna be like very selective about what I get.
Hmm.
And I may even get rid of some stuff that I'm just like, that I found at like a flea market. Like I got a Barbie game on PlayStation 1 that I found at like, I don't know. I don't know where I found it. It was probably like $2.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, it's $2. Whatever. Do I really need to have that game? No. I might get rid of some stuff and just like really curate and pare down my collection at some point to the
Okay.
stuff that I really, really want, and then start to really target the things that I don't have that I want, and then let go of the stuff that's like, I don't want to just collect to collect. And I've done that for a long time. There's a ton of
Mhm.
like that Barbie game's a perfect example. I just got it because it was there. Who cares? I found it at a Goodwill or something. But I think that I'm gonna get to a point where I just curate the shit out of my collection and just have exactly what I want for each system. And then if I'm missing something, really target those specific items and let
Mhm.
everything else kind of go by the wayside.
I need to do the same thing, but I have a hard time getting rid of stuff. I really
Me,
do.
me too. I still have the Barbie game, Wes.
Oh, I still have Charlie's Angels for the GameCube. So,
I'd rather have that than the Barbie.
but we've talked about pricing in the past, and we've always mentioned a few staples, of
Hmm.
games that we always monitor their pricing. One of those games that come to mind is Panzer Dragoon Saga. That game has always been expensive
Hmm.
because it came at the end of the Saturn's run. Today, as of today, February, a loose disc is $752. Man, that's a lot.
It's a lot for a disc.
That's a lot for a disc. Complete in box is 925, and a sealed copy is 1537. You know what? That actually fell because at one point it was over 2 grand.
Yeah.
It was over 2 grand. But it peaked in August of 2021 for a complete in box. It peaked at 1350. So that, I mean, that took a dip, man.
Yeah, those are the COVID years.
Yeah.
And you really have to like when you guys talk about collecting games, when you talk about COVID, you really need to say the COVID years because it wasn't just 2020. It was
Mhm.
it was 2020, it was 2021, and then probably part of 2022
2020. I
also,
I agree.
right? Because that's where the inflated prices really happened, and then after at some point in 2022, things slowly started to come down to reality, and now we're here in 2026, and it's like as we said earlier, kind of like stabilizing.
Yeah, but that's shocking. Like I said, it was over 2 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows that some of the market is, as we said, stabilizing, but the game prices are coming down, which is a good and bad thing, because it's a bad thing because I buy more. It's a good thing that more people can enjoy the hobby.
Yeah, I think they're coming down, but not so much anymore. I think they're like I said, they're kind of stable. Like maybe they're slightly going down. The stuff that's truly rare is continuing to rise,
Hmm.
or at least holding its value very well. Little Samson's another example. Little Samson is the one game like that's probably like my holy grail game, as I mentioned on here a billion times at this point. Let's look at the pricing on that. Current day, we're at 1926 for a loose copy, $1,926 for a loose copy.
Mm.
Complete in box,
Oh,
$5,615 if you get a complete in box.
oof.
If you somehow found a sealed one, $22,463 for a sealed Little Samson. That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
But it's not the peak. The peak for complete in box, it wasn't COVID, believe it or not. It just occurred last year, January 2025, $5,765. And again, comparing that to today, you're looking at about a $100 difference. So about a $100 less today than it was a year ago.
Little Samson has always held its price. It always held its value.
Yeah. I mean, it's a truly rare game. It's a
Mm-hmm.
game that people actually want to collect for, and it's supposed to be like one of the best games on NES that like nobody played.
No, but yeah, exactly. I didn't even hear about it until maybe a couple years ago.
Again, as we talked about earlier, yeah, you can emulate it. Go ahead and emulate it. But if you
Mhm.
want the real deal, you're going to be paying for that.
Yeah, too rich for my blood, man.
If I ever bought one, it would be loose. I could see myself getting one sometime in the future. Like if the market really falls off and like people stop caring about NES games and the price
Right.
drops, I would probably pick one up. But again, a game like that that's truly rare, I can only imagine this game getting more expensive over time and not less expensive.
All right, just out of curiosity, what would be your buying point if you found a loose cart? How much would you be willing to pay for it?
I mean, today it's unrealistic because it's like half the price, like a grand. If I went to a convention tomorrow and someone was selling it for a grand, I'd grab my credit card, and be like, here you go, just because I know the value is going to go up. Like I'm not
Right.
stupid. Like I know it's going to be more than that. But finding one at that price is crazy. God forbid you. Can you imagine walking into like a Goodwill and like it's
Mhm.
just sitting there for like $10?
Oh my god, I would
Shit your
die.
pants, bro. People did that back in the day. It just is, everybody's looking now, and nobody was looking,
Oh, Goodwill,
back then.
Goodwill, like got wise, man.
Oh yeah,
Goodwill and thrift shops, man. Those were the spots to find, good games for cheap. Not anymore. They become hip to it, and they be jacking their prices up.
yeah. It's hard in general. I would say your best bet is to, if you hit like a yard sale, you might find somebody who doesn't,
Hmm.
just trying to get rid of stuff, but even that's difficult. It's not the way that it used to be. Wes, talk to me about Musha because this is one of the titles that you won on
Oh
your Genesis.
man, I love that game. Musha was so good. It was a shooter. It was a vertical shmup. Not many people bought it. I bought, you know what? I bought it just because it had a giant mech on the cover, and I was all about it. I was all about giant mechs. But Musha for the Sega Genesis, loose, just a cartridge is $304. Complete in box is $781, and a sealed one you're looking at 1950.
Yep,
But the complete in box peaked in during the COVID years, May 2021, at $1,050.
that's a pretty good drop. It's about 200
Mm-hmm.
$230 off from the peak. But that again was all like inflated prices. So now we're just getting back down to reality where Musha, is probably a rarer game or harder to find game on Genesis, and
It
it's a
is because
good game and people want it.
they didn't make a whole lot of them, from what I understand. So it was rare. It wasn't like a Sonic where they mass produced them.
What's
There was
cool is that game now it's accessible. Wes, you can go play it on. I think it's on Nintendo Switch Online.
is
I'm
it?
not. I'm 99% sure it's on there. If you have like the whatever tier comes with the Genesis games, I'm like
Hmm.
99% sure it's in there.
Oh man, that's such a great game. I loved that game back in the day. Loved it,
Yep.
loved it. But that's another one that kind of dipped in price over the years.
Then we got Valkyrie Profile on PS1. I don't know anything about this game. What is Valkyrie Profile, Wes?
It was a role playing game.
Hmm. Square or Enix?
Yes, it wasn't Atlas. I really want to say it was Square.
Square sounds about right. I can kind of see the cover in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm thinking more deeply about it, I'm pretty sure it was a Square game.
Valkyrie Profile was great.
Loose, we're looking at 169.99, so $170 loose today. 269.97, so 270 complete in box, and then sealed $644 sealed. The complete in box peak was in May of 2021, so another COVID game.
Mm-hmm.
It this sucker dropped in value. It was $406 complete in box in May of 2021. The complete in box price today is 270. Lost a lot of value there.
It did. So yes, it was made by Enix. This was prior to the
Enix, okay.
it was prior to the Square Enix merger.
Yeah, I knew I had my timeline right. That's why I didn't say Square Enix. I was like, was it Square or Enix
It
or?
was it was Enix.
Cubivore is a title that I own. This was if in case you guys didn't watch my old videos, this was the first game I targeted as a collector, saying I know this game is not common, and I bought it on the basis of that alone. The game now is quite expensive, but not when I bought it. Loose Cubivore, $276 today. Complete in box is $555. A sealed copy is 703. Now it is down. The peak peaked in April of 2022, which is probably the end of the COVID years, and you're looking at 652 compared to today at 555, so about $100 down from the peak.
Did you ever play Cubivore?
I did, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I turned it off. But I kept it. I never got rid of it, and it's an Atlas game, and that's
It
a big
is.
reason why people want it is because it's an
It
Atlas
is.
game.
Oh man, somebody gave me that as a gift. I think I wound up trading it in at some point. I could kick
I
myself.
I remember the day we got it because it was when we were working at EB, and it came.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I don't know if they still practice this at GameStop, but at EB, they would take brand new games, open them, put a sticker on it, but the sticker was unique. Like if you saw that sticker, you knew it was a new game that they relabeled as a used game, and the games would be mint every time. So it came in a box, and I saw it, and I was like, "Man, I haven't seen this in a minute. This game is rare. I know this game is rare because I never see it."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "I'm just gonna buy it because I know it's rare." And then there you go.
There you go.
I think I spent $20 on the game.
What?
It was like a $20 game, Wes. Nobody wanted it.
Nobody wanted it.
Maybe 30. Maybe I spent $30 on it, but that was like the
Wow.
max.
Yeah, that was it. You talk about obscure. That's one of them.
Yeah, and that was the reason I targeted that game. Otherwise, I would have just been like, no one wants this crap. I mean, part of me was like that too. Like nobody wants this crap, but I had a feeling, and I was collecting at that point for sure.
And it paid off. You were
Yeah.
right. You were right. Another game that we talked about a couple times in the past was Snatcher for the Sega
Wes,
CD.
I feel for you, man. Every time the word's brought up, I just like I feel pain for you.
I love that game. I wound up trading it in, and I don't know why. And I really want it back, but it's so expensive to buy. A loose CD for Sega for Snatcher Sega CD is $472. Complete in box is $1,040, and a sealed copy is $1,400.
Jesus.
But it again during the COVID years, it's when it peaked. August of 2021, it was $1,435 for a complete in box copy of Snatcher.
Jesus, that was more than what the sealed one's going for now. That's crazy. That's a huge drop. That's like a third of its value,
I could cry.
or maybe a fourth. But that's a significant amount of value being lost in that game.
It is. It is. I keep saying if I find it at a good price. Okay, so this is a game that I will whip out the credit card if I find it for a good price.
So what's a good price? Like if you went to a convention today and you saw it there for X amount of dollars, what would you pay for it?
If somebody had it for like $800,
Okay.
I would buy it immediately.
Yeah, somebody who's just been sitting on it forever, no one's buying it. They're like, dude, I'm just gonna take some money for this, right? I get that.
That's a game that's gonna always hold some kind of value.
Unless they re-release it, which we're going to talk about later on, because there's some titles that they have re-released and those prices have gone down. But Snatcher has withheld the test of time. Like no one has, I think Konami probably made that because Kojima made the game.
Yeah, that was Kojima's first game.
Yeah, Konami would have to release that themselves, and they've only been doing like collections of games, and I don't know what the hell you would pair Snatcher with in Konami's catalog.
You know what? I was very surprised it didn't show up on the Sega Genesis Mini 2.
That would have been a good one because they did have Sega CD games on there.
They did. I was very shocked that didn't show up there.
That would have been awesome. What a missed opportunity.
I know.
Well, that's a game I'm never going to own. This is another one you own, though. Why don't you take this one away too, Wes?
The Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo. Why this game stays so expensive, I do not know.
Even loose, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, loose, you're looking at $125. Complete in box is just under $500, $497.
Mm-hmm.
A sealed copy is $1,592. It peaked a complete in box in March of 2022 at $600. This game has always maintained its value, and it's always been so expensive. This and a game we spoke about a couple months ago on our Pulse Check, the Power Rangers, the movie. Again, that's another one, that a Super Nintendo game that always maintained its value. And I don't understand why Batman and Robin is so expensive.
I don't know the whole picture, but I would imagine the story is partially due to this. It's a licensed game, and it's those don't typically get re-released. Like the
Mm-hmm.
licensed games are the ones that are like holding their value most of the part. Like there's different like Marvel games and some and stuff that are more expensive. The Spider-Man games on PS3 and like Xbox 360 are a great example. Those values have gone up because they haven't been able to re-release them because of the licensing.
Okay. Well, to just for comparison, the Adventures of Batman and Robin came out on the Genesis as well. It's a different game, completely different game, but still the Adventures of Batman and Robin, where a loose cartridge is $27, complete in box is 120, and new is 263. So to just as far as the Genesis counterpart, even though it was a different game, the, the price difference is huge.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely an interesting one for sure.
It's as far as the game itself, it was a good game. It was a side scroller. We always said that it could be the cardboard.
Oh yeah, I mean that was a big part of it, right? I mean, if you compare that to the Genesis, I'm sure that that was like a big reason why that one was more expensive. We got Parappa the Rapper on PS1, classic game. Loose 96.25, complete in box 142.60. A sealed one goes for $310, and the complete in box peaked in December of 2025, so just 2 months ago, and that was 159.82. So it's really seeing its peak now. And PS1 games are definitely on the rise for collectors.
Oh man, Parappa! I love Parappa the Rapper.
I
Twenty
don't think I have it on PS1. I think I have a digital copy somewhere, like on one of my places. Probably PS3.
really?
Yeah, I don't own a physical one.
Okay.
The second one, I own the physical copy of.
Wait, Unjamalami or
Parappa
Parappa
the
the
Rapper
Rapper
2
Two?
for
Okay, for
PS2.
PS2. Okay.
Yep,
Man, I remember when Parappa first came out. Played that game to death.
it was a cool game, man.
It was a cool game. It was a cool game. And then we have Godzilla for PlayStation 4.
Hmm.
Again, it's another title we've spoken about a couple times in the past. They didn't make a whole lot of those, and no one even knew it was out. I knew because I'm a Godzilla nut. But a loose disc is $256. Complete in box is 300, and sealed is 409. And it peaked actually January of this year.
Yep, still rising.
It's still rising.
Yeah, I think that's for a couple reasons. That game is going to continue to rise, especially as eventually PS4 is going to be 20 years old, right? And those prices, that game is going to continue to go up until 5 years after the 20-year mark, like 25 years after
Mm-hmm.
the PS4 came out. The game itself is also a painful one for me because I remember seeing it. I worked at GameStop at the time that that came out, and I remember seeing copies of it come in, and then at some point I figured out that it was rare. I don't remember how, but I
Mm-hmm.
figured it out, and I was like, it's probably because we weren't getting a lot of them, right? And as soon as I was like, I'm gonna buy this the next time it comes to the store, I never saw it again. This is, I was like that close to like getting a copy.
That was like a one and done. It's like you got it, stores got it, and then that was it.
I think I got it a second time. I think I got it like, the initial shipment, like
Mm-hmm.
whoever pre-ordered it, maybe there was one extra copy. We sold them all. And then like one or two more copies came in. And at some point, again, I figured it out and like nothing came after that. That was it, man. That was all we had.
Yeah, I think I wound up pre-ordering mine at Best Buy to get it because at this point, GameStop was kind of starting to be iffy as far as if you pre-order a game, you may or may not get it. So I just went to Best Buy and got it, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we only had like 3 copies in." He said
Yep.
yours is one of them. But Godzilla always, I guess, maintained his popularity,
Well, the
and
new
now,
movies are cool too. Like they're making good
Mhm.
Godzilla movies. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and the show Monarch. So like Godzilla's like still popular,
Hmm.
and was it Godzilla -1
Hmm.
was awesome.
I didn't even see that one. I saw the one before that one, which I enjoyed quite a bit. Godzilla versus Kong. That
Hmm.
movie was great. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so I think that Godzilla's popularity is keeping that price high a little bit.
All right, let's get into the biggest hitters they have for the NES West. These are the NWC carts. There's a gray cart, which is a little bit more common. These were the ones that were used during like the Nintendo World Championship events.
Mhm.
And then there's the gold carts. The gold carts you could only get through the magazine, through the Nintendo magazine, Nintendo Power. You had to
Right.
like do something. I don't know if you just had to write in or whatever, but basically you had to be picked a winner in the magazine, and then that's how you got the gold card. So there's a lot less gold cards than there were gray cards. The gray cards, there's these are all loose, by the way. There is no boxes for these.
Mhm.
They all were loose. Period. The gray carts, $765 is what a gray cart went for recently. Now I want to leave a caveat in here. The condition of these matters greatly to people. So like if you have a really nice one, you're gonna get significantly more than if you have one that looks like a tire ran over it. Like it really does matter a lot. So I'm going to say that before I talk about the peak. So again, right now, the most recent sale was $765. The loose peak, $62,100.
Oh my God.
And that was in December of 2021. Again, the COVID years.
The COVID years, man.
But that gap is so wide. I just want to be very transparent. I really believe it had to do with the condition. That one that sold then, first of all, it was during the peak.
Mhm.
And second of all, it was probably in very good condition. The one that sold for $765 probably looked like ass. That would be my assumption. And then we got the gold one. So these hardly ever sell. I didn't even bother putting a peak in here or anything like that. The last one sold for $11,537, and the sales are so rare that it's
Mhm.
almost not worth talking about because these are epically rare carts. I think if I remember correctly, they only in the thing there was like 20 carts made, and only less than them are known to exist in the world. Like people might have thrown them away.
Mhm.
You know, there's a gray cart that like somebody ripped the label off of and like wrote their name on it. Like, so I mean, these aren't like all accounted for, and who knows how many actually exist. But yeah,
Okay.
the gold ones are super super rare. Let me ask you this: is that something you would want to seek? Like, if you let's say you were going for an NES collection, is
Mhm.
that something that you would want to? Would it have to be part of your collection, or would it not?
No, I could live without it. I've lived without it this long. I would be good. It's something I don't need.
If you were going for an NES collection, like what would you go for?
You know what? If I would go for Little Samson over that. I think.
What I mean is like what would you like? Would you target like for any system really? Are you going to target just the US releases, like official releases, like unlicensed releases? Are you
Oh
going to
no.
target like international games?
Um. Well, I used to be a big importer, so I
Yes.
would I would go for the imports if I came across one.
So if you had like unlimited resources and you
Hmm.
wanted to collect for the NES,
Yeah.
you would get all countries, like the US versions or the North American versions, the PAL versions, and the Japanese versions.
Yes, I would. I would. Only because I did that for my Dreamcast.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I have a lot of Japanese stuff because I imported my Dreamcast, and then I have, of course, a lot of American releases. But then I have some PAL games because there were some games that never came out in America on the Dreamcast, like Evil Twin, which is a great game. Headhunter, even though Headhunter eventually came out for the PS2,
I was just going to say that.
that
Yep.
that was a PAL only game. Yeah, there were a few. So yes, I would collect for all.
Okay. I think I would probably just stick to US and I wouldn't go for anything that was not officially released. Maybe on NES I would try to get those weird unlicensed games, but maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't do the unlicensed stuff. It has to be an official release.
And the gray and the gold cart were never like actual releases. They were like obscure things. Like for like people who go after like demos and stuff. Like that's not if I was going to target a complete
Mhm.
collection, I would not be going after those like crazy ass things to try to get.
Oh yeah, no. But people go crazy over those demo discs.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of carts. There's a lot of Super Nintendo carts that are like. There's like a Donkey Kong one that was used at a tournament that was really expensive. There's a few on Super Nintendo specifically that are
Okay.
quite expensive. All right, Wes. So I do want to also touch on this subject too. There are games that are losing their value due to re-releases. We kind of hinted at
Hmm.
that earlier. this is happening kind of more frequently now that we're seeing like more re-releases and stuff. It happened to one of my games. It like really brought down the price, and that was Project Justice for Dreamcast. So Project Justice, it had a
Yeah.
re-release in May of 2025. So about a year ago, and I mean, if you guys look on the price charting chart, you're going to see it's just dip and dip and dip and dip. Probably started dipping like the dip started in May of 2024. I'm guessing they made the announcement then, like a year or something before the game came out, because it's just been on a downward trajectory. And it was one of the most expensive Dreamcast games. Not the case anymore.
Oh man, I remember Project Justice. I love that game.
Yeah, it was a cool Capcom fighting game, you
It
know.
was. It was.
And
It
then we had
was.
another one too.
Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom 2. You now for the longest time that game was on the upswing. No matter
Mm-hmm.
what platform you bought it for, it was going to be expensive. But since they re-released it on the Capcom Fighting Collection in September of 2024, it's like the price is just dropping.
Yep.
Like the Dreamcast one, right now, complete in box has dropped down to like 115 bucks. Where at one point I think it was over 200.
Mm-hmm.
The original Xbox version of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is down to like $65, which is unheard of. Yeah, it was because it dropped to like $65, where at one point I really want to say that game was fetching over close to $200 for a complete in box.
Yeah, the pricing on a lot of these has gone down. Like that's not always the case, but generally speaking, if you have
Mm-hmm.
like a harder to find game and it gets re-released on like modern hardware for newer consoles, it does affect the price. It does go down. Happened to really large amount on the GameCube with Paper Mario that got re-released in the
Mm-hmm.
Switch, and you just saw that price completely decline. That was like
Uh,
$100 game, and I think
mhm.
now it might go for $60 on GameCube.
That's a dip. That's a big dip.
Yep, it's all because of the re-release.
So the re-releases, we can agree, like definitely hurt the values of the actual physical copies.
Certainly does. Then we also are dealing with inflation right now. Like inflation is through the roof as far as people's money goes. So that's another challenge with collectors. It does affect the market. It makes things essentially more expensive to buy, and like your dollar doesn't go as far. Sealed market is on the decline, I would say. There's still sealed collectors, but those like sealed graded games in particular are
Mm,
really losing their value. You can go look at this in like auction houses and stuff and see how much things used to go for compared to how
uh-huh.
much they're going for now. And it makes sense. I mean, if you go to like conventions and stuff and you like see people who have these like sealed graded games, I don't think I've ever seen a single person looking at them or like with any sort of interest whatsoever. Have you?
You know what? It's a conversation piece. It's like I've seen people like look at it and like, wow, this is like really cool, but I haven't seen anybody buy one. Because Keith at Jersey Video Games has quite a few graded games, and those games have been sitting there ever since I met him.
Yeah, I mean they're for a very select market, right? And I think a lot of people got involved in those games as an investment. There's just not a whole lot of people doing that. So if you don't have a lot of people continuing to invest and that's not growing, then who's buying them? The same handful of people, right? So I can imagine that is very challenging to find a buyer to.
Yeah, well, you know what, and it's very different from the comic book side because graded comic books sell. I mean,
Mm,
granted, there's a market for it, and it's a certain collector that goes after it. But I think the graded comic book sells much faster than a graded video game.
yeah, I can believe that. I mean that those gradings on comic books have been more established for a longer time. You could essentially like depending on how expensive it was or what it was, you could wear gloves and like flip through it and stuff and then put it back and not damage it at all and you can't do that with a sealed game.
Now, once you break the seal, that's
Yeah.
it.
You can't play the game ever. Ever. So what's it's like almost what's the point? I guess it's just to have it. Just like I'm sure some like uber rare comic books are like
Yeah,
never going to be touched outside of whatever protective thing they're inside of.
which is true. Which is true. Like I said, it's a conversation piece, and it's nice to have one or two, but to do a whole collection of graded games, not me. Couldn't
I
do
don't
it.
know. Definitely not me either. I have a few sealed games, but they're not graded, and I don't know that I'd go through jump through those hoops of getting them graded for any reason.
You know what? The one game I really considered getting graded is the Panzer Dragoon Saga because mine is still sealed,
Hmm.
and just to preserve the game and the
Yeah.
plastic because over time the plastic is going to get it starts to get thin.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been thinking about it. I may take the plunge and just do it.
You're lucky it's not a cardboard game because that cellophane on the cardboard games it starts to like shrink and like
Mm,
break the box. The box becomes like dented in. So you're lucky it's at least in that like hard plastic.
yeah, no. So yeah, but that's a thought. One day I'll pull the trigger and just do it.
Wes, what consoles do you feel are on the rise today?
Anything Sega. Sega has always been a popular system, be it the Genesis, the Dreamcast, not so much Sega CD, but there's a huge market for like Sega CD, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, Genesis stuff. Huge market. 32X, not so much, but
With good reason.
so, and that's what I've seen. Like going to various game conventions, there's a good chunk of Genesis stuff or Sega stuff. Period.
Yeah, I
That's
like Sega stuff too. I don't have a Sega CD, but I do have like a Saturn. I have a Sega Genesis and a Dreamcast, and I like collecting for those. In particular, the Dreamcast. Like I love getting Dreamcast games to this day.
I do too. I do too. It's like I'm coming to the point where I think I have a good chunk of them. So it's hard to when I go to conventions to find one that I don't have.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get some of the rarer ones or like the harder to find ones. But I have quite a few of them. But I want to get the really really good stuff and really curate that collection
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Like that's something I definitely want to do. I don't even have a ton of games for it, but I have a lot of the ones that I really want. So
Okay.
now I think I'm just going to focus on getting the ones I haven't played that I really want that are also expensive, just to get those like off the list.
Okay. Yeah. See, for me, I guess this is where it came in handy, where because I bought everything, and I bought everything.
Yeah, yeah, you did. You probably had all the really expensive ones for you paid $60 for them or $50,
Or 30,
and now they're
39,
worth like
99.
$300.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's why I said my Dreamcast stuff is I have a good chunk, a good library of Dreamcast games. So if I do find one, I'll pick it up. But
Man, I regret when the Dreamcast was going out. I did buy some stuff. I have a few Dreamcast games that are like sealed that I picked up because they were cheap. I have like the Dreamcast keyboard, as mine's brand new. It has like a $10 price sticker on it because we were clearing some out. I got VMUs for like nothing, and they're like still like they're still sealed. But I wish I went a little bit more wilder and bought more Dreamcast stuff as that was getting clearance out.
like Samba de Amigo,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love that. I'd love that game.
That's a cool game, man.
But I bought it just because, and then but I wound up selling it or trading it in not too long ago. Like you know what? I'm never gonna play this again.
Wes, what is our let's say our top four consoles as far as collectors are going right now? What do you think are like some of the biggest ones?
Genesis,
Okay. Yep.
Genesis, without a doubt.
Yep. I agree with that.
And I would say with the release of the analog 3D, Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah, definitely. 64 has always had like its core group, and
Yes.
it kind of like went higher for a while, and then GameCube kind of took over. But now that the 3D released, you can start to see the N64 is like it's got like a second wave of people collecting for N64 again.
Yep. Whether it's just a cartridge or a complete in box, Nintendo 64 games are definitely on the rise.
Certainly are. Two of the bigger ones that I see now are PS1. A lot of my PS1 collection has gone up quite a bit. I still buy PS1 games. I bought a PS1 game. I think I probably bought two or three PS1 games in the past year, like in 2025. So it's not something I'm not buying PS1 games every day. I'm not crazy, right? I'm not going out and getting them. But when I find them, if it's something interesting, I'll pick it up. Like I bought the original Metal Gear on PS1, like because
Hmm.
I found that it was a good price. I was like, why the hell not? Plus, I feel like that's a game people are going to want on that console. The other one would be 3DS. Like,
You
I
there?
don't even really have an interest in 3DS, but the pricing for 3DS consoles and games has really gone up. Yeah, I picked up Metal Gear, just because I happened to stumble upon it. It was a decent price. I said, why the hell not? And I'll do that with any PS1 game. Like if it's something I think that's going to be collectible or something I want in my collection.
Uh-huh.
I would love to get into Metal Gear one day, so that's why it's there.
You should. It's a great game.
I'll try again.
You know what? Try the GameCube one. Try Twin Snakes. Maybe you'll like that one a little
You
better.
don't know about that game, do you? That game is notorious, Wes.
For
Disc rot.
really?
Like whoever did the printing of that disc, like
Mm-hmm.
so many of them are crap now. Like you could, like either unplayable or close to it.
Oh man, I need to check mine.
Yeah. Like that those discs are notorious for it. So like I'd have to be very careful if I'm picking up
Mm.
Twin Snakes on GameCube.
Okay.
So check your copy when you get a chance.
Yes, I will.
Finally, the 3DS. I don't own a 3DS. You bought one at the right time. God dang, I wish I bought one when you did. But I just had no interest. And to be fair, I still really don't have an interest in it. I only want it now because it's way more expensive than it was when you bought yours. And the games are holding their value pretty decently, but the
Uh-huh.
consoles in particular are expensive.
What are they going for now?
I mean, a trash console is probably like over $150, and like a good one, probably like $300. But the version depends too, right? If you have like the new 3DS XL
Mm.
version, that's going to go for the most. If you have
Okay.
like the first generation and it looks like garbage, you probably
Mm-hmm.
get like $100 for it, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't get it initially, and I said I wasn't going to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had certain stipulations. I said I'll get it if someone trades it in to level up, and then I'll only buy if it's purple, being my favorite color.
Was that the
And
Galaxy one or no?
the midnight purple one. There was a second purple one that had like the stars on it, like the galaxy
That's the
one.
one I'm thinking of. It wasn't that one?
It was just now. This was just a midnight purple one.
Okay.
And sure enough, someone walked in with a midnight purple 3DS. I was like, God dog it. So I bought it. But the price dropped. I bought it loose. I got it for a good price. But like now, a loose 3DS is going for like 175. A
Mm-hmm.
complete box is 225.
There you go.
Brand new one is 600, which is
Yep.
down from 650.
Yeah, I should have bought one when I had the chance, man. When those things were brand new for like 150, $200, man, I should
Mhm.
have just bought one and like never opened it.
It's cool. It's a niche thing.
Well, I love the DS and I love the Game Boy Advance. Like I love those consoles, but for some reason when the 3DS came out, I was just like, I don't want this. I remember like using it because I worked at GameStop, so I had to like test them and and I was like
Mhm.
nauseous from the screen. I was like, this is disgusting. So it always the first thing I would always do is turn the 3D off
Turn the
every
3D
time.
off. I don't mind the 3D. Some of it looks good. Like I bought Dead or Alive because I love Dead or Alive, and I turned the 3D up. It looks okay.
Recommended collecting, Wes. What are we going to recommend people? Like, if someone was like, I want to start collecting video games, what are we going to recommend they start collecting today?
360 for sure.
Hmm.
Because 360 games are dirt cheap right now, but they won't always be that way.
Especially the hard to find stuff. Like, people who have game stores and stuff, or people who go to conventions and sell things. 360 used to sit there, but it's not anymore. Like, it's selling, and some of the prices are rising, but it's definitely gaining popularity.
It is. It is. And there's some games that are really expensive. Like the 50 cent game, Blood on the Sand for 360. A complete in box is like $120.
Yep. I should have bought that a few years ago. It was like $80.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the Platinum Edition, again, that's another one, $120. So there are some expensive 360 games, but the majority of them you can buy for like $10, $20.
The same can be said for anything else in that generation. I think
Mm-hmm.
PS3 and Wii games you should also be picking up. Granted, there's a whole lot of shit on the Wii. Like the Wii is a lot of crap,
A
but like,
lot of it.
the 50 awesome games on Wii, you should definitely target and pick up because they're probably going to go up in price.
Anything Mario.
All the official Nintendo releases, you
Yeah.
should target those. Anything that was popular at that point in time.
The Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I picked up Resident Evil 4, the Wii version, for
Mhm.
that reason. PS3 has a lot of exclusive titles that are only available on that console. There's not great backwards compatibility on PS3, so that's another
Mhm.
system you would want to target. that whole generation is also 20 years old, so people are going to start really targeting that system like now. It's already happening. And then the last thing I would say would just be Xbox in general. Like, dude, if you want to get amazing games for dirt cheap, original Xbox, Xbox 360, anything Xbox, no one cares for some ungodly reason, even though some of those generations did some of the best games.
Yes. Original Xbox is one of my favorite consoles. I thought it was fantastic. And the games now are cheap, but it did have some standouts that are kind of pricey, you know. Def Jam Fight for New York, complete in box, you're looking at $112. You know, Steel Battalion, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But you know, complete in box, if you have everything, is it's still $540. There's some standouts that just like 360, where you're gonna pay for the games, but the majority of them are dirt cheap.
Yeah, and they're great titles. And not only that, during that generation, typically speaking, the Xbox almost always had the superior version. So like
Yes.
if you wanted to get GoldenEye Nightfire or 007 Nightfire, not GoldenEye Nightfire, 007 Nightfire, it was on PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. The Xbox is going to be the best version. Probably
Mm-hmm.
followed by GameCube and then probably followed by PS2 in most situations.
Because the Xbox was the more powerful system, so they capitalized on the hardware.
Wes, what do you want to change in the retro gaming market, let's say? And what do you want to stay the same? Just one thing.
Um.
It doesn't have to be a laundry list or whatever comes to mind.
Okay. What I want the prices to continue to drop just a little bit, like I said, because there's still some stuff that's out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
And if they dropped a little bit more, like Snatcher we talked about, you know, if the prices continue to drop, I can definitely obtain that again. Make the really expensive games a little bit more obtainable. That's one thing that I would like to see.
What about staying the same?
Actually, the same thing, just because the market is dropping, not rapidly, but it's still going down, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that because that lets me buy more. So I guess it's a twofold. So yes, I want the prices to change so I can buy more, but then I want to stay the same so I can buy more. If that makes any sense. Does that
That's
make any
a
sense?
Yeah, I get you. I understand where you're coming from.
What about you?
I think what I want to stay the same is, it's similar to what you said. I want the stabilization to stay the same.
Hmm.
Whether that means things slightly go down or slightly go up, the stabilization is extremely good because it's going to allow more people to, come in. It's going to allow for the people that are here to stay. We're
Hmm.
not being outpriced. Like the collectors like you and I are not being outpriced by like the insanity that was COVID, right? So we're
Hmm.
able to buy the stuff that we want. Yeah, inflation's still a bitch. It's not
Yeah.
great. So I want that to continue. If inflation can get better, that'll be great. But the reality is this: inflation's not going to go back to the way that it was. We can only slow it down. We can't really reverse inflation. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Hopefully the best we can hope for is that it just stays where it is. And then as far as what I would want to change would go would just be, I think even though I'm seeing young people get into it more, it's at
Hmm.
such a slow clip. And I mean this is an unreal it's totally unrealistic. But I would love for like just to wake up tomorrow and people start caring about physical media.
That's a good point. Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. That's a good call out.
But it's not going to happen. I know that it's unrealistic.
Yes, I would say, but because I've seen the younger generation care about the retro market, which it does my heart good. It makes puts a smile on my face. But that same generation for new stuff for physical media is going all digital.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier. Like in the
Yeah,
very beginning of this conversation, is once we get to the
yeah,
20-year point of like Xbox One and PS4, who is going to care? Not many people. And then we get to PS5 and Xbox Series X. Who's going to care? Not many people. Like even less people. And then the next generation is going to be like a joke. Like PS6 and whatever the next Xbox is. Like
yeah.
no one's going to care about any physical media if there even is any sort of physical
Which
media
is true.
on those consoles.
Which is true because they're already programming you to go digital. They're kind of weaning us off physical as much as I hate it.
Xbox is more than 50% of their sales are all digital.
Yep.
And PlayStation, I think, is slightly below that. Like 45 or something like
Yep.
that is all digital. And Nintendo has the best market, like, share for like physical, but they also pissed everybody off with the key card. So
With
I
the key
have no
cards.
idea what that's like anymore.
We'll see.
So yeah, that's what I would want to change. But we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this segment. But now we're going to move on. Talking about pricing still. This whole show is about pricing. Wes, why the hell do you think Pokemon games, the games, are so expensive?
I have no idea. Pokemon has always been expensive. Like the games have always been expensive. I know there's if you are collecting the cards, there's a resurgence in Pokemon card collecting. I'm seeing videos of people fighting to get, the packs released. Like what? But so Pokemon has just increased in popularity over the years. But the games always maintained their value. Always. And I don't know why.
I think there's a few reasons. Let's talk about the card thing first because you brought that up. The card thing just in general is creating more popularity around that, right? It's Pokemon is more in people's minds because of that. This other idea that I have, I think is probably more valid, but I have no data. I'm just using my brain to extract this idea, and maybe you agree and maybe you disagree. I feel that times have changed for let me walk you through some of the numbers, right? Back in the day, let's talk about the original GB, right? Game Boy. When
Right?
those Pokemon games came out,
Mm-hmm.
a huge seller. But what was a huge seller back then? 5 million copies?
Okay.
Let's say it's 5 million. I'm just making up numbers. I have no idea. So we'll say Pokemon Blue and Red, they sold 5 million copies. Time goes on. Next generation of consoles. Now you got like GBA had like green and red, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's say they bumped it up. Let's say it's 7 million copies on each of those, right? And then the next generation comes out, like whatever DS had. And then now we're at like 15 million. Do you see where I'm going with this? More and more and more people have gotten into Pokemon
Yes.
as the years have progressed, and it shed very few of those people. Those people became adults. They're in their 40s, some of them probably in their 50s. Sure,
Mhm.
a lot of them are going to be in their 30s. That's probably the prime target is people in their 30s right now. But they remain a Pokemon fan today. And now you have younger generations continuing to get into it and not leaving. That creates a problem. If the first Pokemon sold 5 million copies, and
Mhm.
now you have 50 million fans that want to get that 5 million copies, yes, it sold a shit ton, but you have an inflated market because all these people want
Yeah.
what was so little back then. It was huge back then,
Yeah.
but for a much smaller market. So that's my idea as to why this shit is so expensive right now. What do you think?
Good point. We all know if they want to play it, they can always emulate it. We know
That's
about
true.
emulation.
That's a great point.
We know that they can always do that. But that's I don't. But the physical cartridges always maintain their value. We had. I think I mentioned it on one of our videos in the past. Someone sold us a box, just a box for Pokemon Blue. And
Oh, dude, that must have been some very expensive cardboard.
it's very expensive. We sold it for $200, and it's just a box.
I bet you that box today would be at least $400. I bet you.
That's just insane.
Yeah, I bet you that box would be $400 today, Wes.
Yo, that's insane. It's that's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Again,
There,
if my theory is correct, only more people want that box, and that's only going to drive the price up more and more because yes, a lot of them were sold, but not to the extent of how many Pokemon fans there are. That's the problem. And now here's the other thing. If you just want to play the game, emulation.
right.
Two, repros. You can go on Etsy today and get some bunk ass, version of
Oh
Pokemon
yeah,
Green Leaf on there for like $20.
like the bootlegs.
Yeah. If you just want to play the game, you have no problem playing the game. But if you want that real thing, which apparently a lot of those fans want, you're gonna pay.
Yep. Yep. And they have
And
no problem paying it.
if my theory is correct, if the shedding of like older people who care less about Pokemon doesn't happen, if it just keeps maintaining, that means the population that cares about Pokemon is only continuing to grow, which means the value of those games is only going to continue to go up until these people stop caring. And as far as this moment in time goes, that
Mhm.
end does not seem to be anywhere in sight.
Nope. Not at all.
And the younger generations keep replacing anybody who might have left. It's like 10 younger people just replace them. So it doesn't even matter.
So let me ask you this: do you play Pokemon games?
Hell no. I have some of them. I don't play them. I have no interest in Pokemon. The most expensive Pokemon game I own is $350.
Which is what?
Pokemon Soul Silver with the Pokewalker complete in box.
Okay.
Never played it. Don't know anything about it. Don't care. But the Pokemon games in my collection, I'm pretty sure they're going to go up in value. All of them at some point in time.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know what? It took me in the beginning. I didn't play, and I was kind of turned off by it. I'm like, I don't want to play this mess. But Justin, who used to work with us,
The
convinced me.
great manipulator, Justin.
Yes, he will talk you into buying anything. He's like, you have to buy it. But he kind of broke it down. He said it's a role playing game. He said it's it's really really good. And he pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. He's like, you got to play it, but I play it, and I played it. I
Which
played
one?
Crystal.
Okay, so original GB or maybe color.
It was
Something like
Game Boy.
that.
It was color.
It was color. Okay.
And I was like, okay, it's not bad. And then for GBA, you had Fire Red and
Fire
Leaf
Red,
Green.
Green Leaf.
And then for DS, you had Diamond and Pearl. But Diamond and Pearl was what I was like, okay, this is like I was hooked in. I was like, okay, this is actually really good. It's
Diamond
actually
and
really
Pearl. That had a huge generation. Diamond and Pearl, Black and White 2,
hmm
Soul Silver. What was the gold? Heart Gold, and I think there was another like grouping of Pokemon on there as well.
So yeah, so yes, I do have quite a few Pokemon games. Some I play, like Pokemon Snap. They had Pokemon Snap for Nintendo 64 was
Yep.
huge.
Yeah, it was.
Huge. Just going around taking pictures of Pokemon. It
Hmm.
was huge.
Yeah, they re-released it on the Switch.
Yep. Yep. I did pick that up. Pokemon Stadium, where you actually fought, which was again, it was good. The games got better and better, especially when they started going into the 3D realm. But I think my favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Pokken Tournament, which is for the
Was that
Switch.
okay? That was on the Switch.
Yeah, it was a fighting game. It played like Tekken with Pokemon characters. It
Oh,
was
that's
great.
interesting.
Oh, so good. So good. But they're still making Pokemon games today, and they're still just as popular. The newer games aren't as pricey as the older stuff, which is to be expected.
That
But
doesn't mean it
Pokemon,
won't get there.
exactly.
We'll see what happens.
I still have to pick up Pokemon Arceus. Everybody keeps telling me that is like one of the best Pokemon games ever.
Yeah, I heard Arceus was good too. I
So
have a couple of the Switch ones, but I don't have Arceus.
yeah, everybody says Arceus is really, really good, and they say you need to put that in your collection. So that's on my list. Eventually, I'll get it.
Well, there you go. If you guys feel like spending a lot of money now to potentially make a lot more in the future, Pokemon's probably the way to go.
But Pokemon will never let you down, man. They always hold their value. They always hold their value.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's time for the top 10 current, because this changes. It changes over
Mhm.
time. What are currently the most top 10 expensive Dreamcast games? Now we're looking at complete in box. We're not looking at anything else. And we're using price charting. These are also US releases only. We're not looking at imports and things like that, or some oddities like demos or anything. Like these are official US releases of games. Wes, what's number 10, sir?
Number 10 is D2,
D2. That's
which
a horror game, right?
it was a survival horror game. Yeah, because the original D came out for computer and 3DO. And they did,
Wasn't it on Saturn also?
I think, yes, it was. And then they did what? EV, I think, or EVO?
I have no idea.
And there was another one. But yes, but D2 officially came out for Dreamcast. Yeah, complete in box, 145. It peaked 2 years ago, March 2024, at $200.
That's an interesting time frame because it's
Mhm.
not a COVID. I
It
wouldn't put
wasn't a
that in the
COVID thing.
COVID years, and then it's dropped $50. That's very interesting. I wonder why. Maybe condition. Maybe somebody had like a really minty one, and that went for 200.
Oh, could be. I mean, because D hasn't been relevant in a long time.
No, a lot of my knowledge of games is just remembering cover art. So
Mhm.
like that's why I was pretty sure the original D came out on Saturn because I think I remember seeing it on Saturn in my mind. But yeah, I don't know really anything about the game at all. Giga Wing is number 9 and complete in box today, 149.63. So $150. Its peak was $182, and that happened in May of 2022. So the end of the COVID years.
Man, that game was so hard.
This is a shmup, right?
It was one of those bullet hell
Oh,
type games. So
yeah.
hard. So hard.
Those games are
I'll,
fun, but like, yeah,
they are.
I get
I can
frustrated. I'm like, oh my god.
never finish them because they were
Yeah,
so hard. But I enjoy playing them.
the 5 minutes you make it through until you die like 3 times in like 2 seconds, and you're like, oh,
Number 8 is probably one of the oddest games I have ever played in my life.
oh, you played this. I
Oh,
didn't
I
know.
did.
Oh man, I got. All right, go ahead.
I still own it. Seaman. What did he say? For the Sega Dreamcast with the mic, because you bought the bundle, which came with the mic. Complete in box, you're looking at 158. It peaked June of last year at 225.
That's quite a bit more. $75 more.
Yeah, Seaman was a very odd game. You
Tell people what semen is, because I kind of know, but it's so strange.
so you raise this fish that has a human head that has the voice of
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy, which is Spock on Star Trek. But the mic, you would talk to it through the mic and you would interact with it and it would respond to you. And the more you talk to it, the more it learned. And then it would evolve and it kind of grew legs and you would have a conversation with this fish, here, this human fish. It was the weirdest, very Japanese.
Oh yeah,
Very Japanese.
trippy as hell.
Very. So yes, that was semen.
I don't know how to transition out of this, but the next game is Sonic Adventure 2. You would think that Sonic Adventure 2 would not be an expensive game because it's Sonic, but the Dreamcast died very quickly. You guys need to understand how fast this was. It was like, 2 years, a year and a half, and the Dreamcast was like here and gone.
Now I was going to say, came out 1999 and died 2001. Maybe it trickled into 2002.
Yeah, but in 2001, like in early 2001, it was already labeled as dead. Like they went out and said, we're not supporting this anymore. Like this is it. So that's probably why Sonic Adventure 2 is a little bit more expensive. A complete in box copy today, $170. It peaked a year ago in January 2025, $229.
Sonic 2 was good.
I don't know that I ever played it. I played Sonic Adventure for sure. I beat Sonic Adventure. I don't remember anything about it because the last time I beat it was on the Dreamcast, like when it came out. So I don't remember anything about it.
Okay.
But I don't think I ever beat Sonic Adventure 2.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Number 6 is based off an anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, 2D fighting game, complete in box, $175. It peaked in May 2022 at $314.
Yeah, that's a huge difference in price.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that's like the end of the COVID years, like May 2022.
Yeah. I don't. You know what? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't think too many people knew what JoJo was, and
Yeah,
I think that's what's keeping the price kind of high.
yeah. I went to a game store in LA. I filmed it a while ago. I think it was called World 8, and they had JoJo there on display, and I was like, oh, like as soon as I saw it, I already knew at that point how that was an expensive game. I was like, oh man, they have JoJo. That's awesome. Didn't buy it, obviously, but they did have it.
Number 5.
Speed Devils. Now this is clean cover, and I did a little bit of research, which means I used Google very quickly. But there's 2 cover versions of this, and the clean cover is the more expensive one by far. So this must have been like a limited version of the game. So it is an official release. It was a US release, but this variant is what makes the price go up. The complete in box today is $199, so it's $200, but it peaked at $528 in June of 2018.
That's a big drop.
That's a huge drop, and COVID did not affect that. I'm sure it went back up during COVID, but it peaked in June of 2018, which is very interesting. I would want to know what the hell happened then. What happened in June of 2018 to make that price skyrocket so high? Like what happened?
Speed Devils itself wasn't a great game.
No, this variant just happens to be a rare version of it.
This will surprise me. Really?
Yeah. I mean, anytime you see a sports or sports adjacent game, it's a shocker.
But number 4 was ECW Anarchy Rules, complete in box, $222. It peaked this past January.
Yep.
So that's it, man. $222. Anarchy, really? ECW?
I'm gonna make an assumption based off of timing, and this is probably when ECW died. This was probably the last ECW game. Would be my assumption. It's probably why people want it. That would be my guess, but it's just a guess.
I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's up there. It's up there. One of the top most expensive Dreamcast games. Ooh.
The only other part that's strange is when you hear people talk about wrestling games, it is never this game. Let
No.
alone let alone anything outside it. When people are like, "What are the greatest wrestling games of all time?" Sometimes people will say one or two games on PS2, but the
Mhm.
majority of the time, it's the N64 games.
Yep.
You never hear anybody say, "Oh, it was this game on the Dreamcast." Never.
No, I think the what WWF had Royal Rumble, I think, on the Dreamcast.
I think so. I think it was
Yeah,
a Royal Rumble. Yeah.
but ECW. Go
Yep.
figure.
Then we got Giga Wing 2. Now, I know we talked about the first one. Did you pick up the second one, Wes? Because this one's even more expensive. This is number 3 on our
Yes,
top
I
10.
did. Yes, I did. Because this came
Mm.
out towards the end of the run, and it's still just as hard. It's another bullet hell.
Well, you're lucky you picked that up when you did.
I'm just a glutton for punishment. I just, I guess.
Complete in box, $254 today. It peaked in February of 2023 at $357.63.
Wow.
One thing I want to point out as we go through the rest of these, we talked earlier about games that are either holding their value or continue to see popularity. Look at this Dreamcast collection. A lot of the ones that we're going through, Wes, the peak was not COVID.
No.
Almost not all of them, but almost all of them were like in the past year or two. So
Exactly. Yeah.
these all have like really seen, more interest over time.
Yep. Within the past couple years, except for
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yep. Next up, we got Ill Bleed. Take it away, Wes.
The second most expensive Dreamcast game released in America. Illbleed, complete in box, $257. It peaked at $310 in March 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play Illbleed?
No, it's a horror game, right?
It's a horror game. Yep. Survival horror. It takes place in an amusement park.
It sounds really cool. Did you
It
did
was
you pick this one up?
I did. It was okay.
Well,
It was okay.
you have the second most expensive Dreamcast game currently, so there you go.
It was slightly better than Blue Stinger. And I really like Blue
Oh
Stinger.
God. Oh, Wes. You were like, no.
Yeah, why isn't the Blue Stinger on this list?
Oh, Blue. Oh my God. The amount of disappointment I had when I picked up, because I didn't have a ton of money when Dreamcast came out, so like buying releases was like not a common thing. And I remember getting Blue Stinger and being so excited and just playing, like, what the hell is this?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I enjoyed that game so much.
Hated it, Wes. I hated it. Let's wrap it up with number 1, baby. Cannon Spike. This game I didn't even know about, and so we had Vinny on our show. Vinny, he does streaming for us over on their Enthusiast on our Twitch channel, and we had him on as a guest, and he brought up this game, and I didn't even hear about this game before. I was like, "What the hell is Cannon Spike?"
Mm-hmm.
And I watched the videos and stuff. The game looks awesome. It's a Capcom game, right?
It is a Capcom game. It's like a, I don't want to say top down, but it's like a top down shooter with Capcom
Mm-hmm.
characters in it. Mega Man's in it. Nash
The
from
art
Street
looks
Fighter's in
awesome
it.
though. Like the art looks
Yeah,
so cool, especially for the Dreamcast. Yeah, Cannon Spike is going for 337 today, complete in box, and its peak was in March of last year, 366.46. So pretty much holding its value.
it did. It only dipped what, $30?
$30 in a year.
$30. That's not bad. So Cannon Spike, there you have the number one most expensive American release Dreamcast game.
Go pick it up if you can find it. That game is only going to get more expensive.
I'm glad I still have mine.
I didn't even know about it. I know about it now.
It was one of those just obscure games that came out and was like, "Hey, what's this? Oh, it's got Capcom characters in it. I'll buy it."
It looks really cool. Videos look awesome. Definitely check out that game if you guys haven't. There you guys have it. Those are the 10 most expensive games that are complete in box for the Dreamcast. US releases only, according to price charting. Wes, our next topic is going to be the top 10 rarest PS2 games according to The Gamer. That's the website, The Gamer. So if you're wondering where we got these from, that's where it was. So I don't know if this has changed over time and anything. I just want to clear up something. That's how they titled the article. It says the rarest PS2 games, but in it they talk about pricing a lot, and I think they were conflating the two, like pricing and rarity together. Like I think they were basing their rarity off of price, which is not necessarily true. But either way, I'm going to use their article since they wrote it. Number 10. Oh my god, my heart. Rock Band Special Edition. So this is the one that came with the drums, guitars,
Mm-hmm.
all that great stuff. Complete in box right now, $247.75. Its peak was in January of 2023. 282.45. So not too far off from where it was at peak.
Number 9. Now this was part of a sequel. It was a part of a 4-game collection. It was the Dot Hack series. This one in particular, Quarantine, was the complete in box is 296. It peaked at 385 in May 2021. So during the COVID years. Yeah, it's odd that this one's on there, not the others.
Well, I think this was the last release, right, for the
I,
Dot Hack series.
I think Quarantine was the last one. The first one was, I think, Infection.
If I'm correct, this was the last one, and I think that at that point the series was on like a decline actually, and they like got that game out and like nobody cared, so it probably didn't make a lot of copies.
Okay.
Then we got Obscure, which is also an obscure game, correctly titled. This one is $438 complete in box today. That's also the peak, and this happened in January of 2026.
You better play it.
Nope, seen it. I'm sure I've held it in my hands, but I've never played it.
Yeah, it's another survival horror game.
If I could tell you to collect for 3 genres, these are the 3 that I would tell you to collect for: RPGs, survival horror,
Mm-hmm.
and fighting games.
There you go.
Those are the 3 you should collect for if I'm giving you my 2 cents.
Okay. Number 7 was Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
I slept on this game. I was more of a Simpsons person than a Futurama person, so I never picked it up.
Wes, I'm right there with you, man. I think I own every damn Simpsons game that existed.
Mm-hmm.
But when Futurama came out, I was like, I don't even like the. I watched like the first few episodes. And I was like, whatever.
I watched a couple seasons, but it was Simpsons all the way. So when they came out with a game for PS2, I was like, and I left it alone.
Me too.
But at any rate, Futurama for PS2, complete in box, $300, and it peaked at 330, and this was November 2024. So it's holding strong. It's holding the value strong. I mean, it dipped a couple dollars, but
not a huge amount.
Not a huge amount at all. I never thought that game would be this expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only expensive on PS2; it's expensive on Xbox also.
Yeah, it is.
So there's the rare Xbox game that's expensive for you guys. The next one is Blood Will Tell. West, tell me about Blood Will Tell, because I feel like this is a game you bought. Maybe I'm wrong.
Did buy it. I did buy it. I can't because it's still sealed.
Man,
it's still sealed. It's
what
made
kind
by
of game
Sega.
Was it?
I want to say it's an adventure game.
Okay.
Where the guy is a samurai. He loses his limb, so he has like sword. His hands are swords.
Okay.
I said it's made by Sega. So I saw Sega on it, so I was like, I have to buy it. I have to buy it. But no, I never opened it. Never opened it. But at any rate, complete in box is 371. It peaked at 433, and that was June of last year, 2025.
Yeah. The game. I think the game got like pretty good reviews. I remember seeing the cover art and stuff, but it
Mhm.
wasn't a big seller, which is why it's probably more expensive today. Another game that wasn't a big seller was Haunting Ground. The reason I want to talk about Haunting Ground is because I found a loose copy of this recently for a decent price, and I turned it down. I didn't. I did. I kind of regret not buying it partially, but I want a complete in box. If I'm buying PS2 games, Wes, I cannot start buying loose PS2 games. Like I'm sure I could go and find the cover art and the
Mhm.
manual, and then I started thinking about the time, like just the time that it would take me to find that stuff, let alone the price.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I can't do it. Like I'm just gonna walk away. So I did. But
Oh.
I want to say the loose copy was like $200, something like that. The complete box price here is $437. The peak price was $449. So
Mhm.
not a huge difference, and that peaked in March of 2025. Haunting Ground is also a Capcom game. It's a survivor
Mhm.
horror game, only released on PS2. To my knowledge, it was never re-released, and that's the only way you can play it today is to have a PS2 copy, as far as I remember.
I've seen Haunting Ground recently, actually. I've seen it in a couple places, like just out and about.
Like at game
It's
stores or something.
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's definitely pricey.
Mm-hmm.
But keeping in line with the survival horror, the number four game of the one of the rarest PS2 games is Silent Hill: Shattered Memories.
Wes, I'm gonna tell you something right now. No one gave a damn about this game when it came out. I
Nope.
remember it. I want to say we were selling this game like very quickly. It went to like a $20 or $30 game. No one gave a shit about it.
And I love Silent Hill. I don't know why I didn't.
I don't think it was good. I'd have to go back and check. I'm not looking at any statistics to tell me this, but if I
Mhm.
remember correctly, it was like not a highly rated game, and nobody liked it. Nobody wanted it, and now it's one of the most expensive games on PS2.
It is. It is because complete in box is $420,
Yep.
and it that was its peak actually in May 2025. So it didn't flinch at all as far as pricing.
Then we got going from the horror games back to the RPGs, Xenosaga 3. Now this is a variant. This variant matters. This makes the price significantly different. Number 3 is the lenticular cover version of Xenosaga 3. Complete in box, $474.99, so $475. It peaked for $500, so only a $25 difference in March of 2024. I don't know anything about the Xenosaga games. They seemed super nerdy, like they're nerdiest RPGs you can imagine. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I don't play a ton of RPGs, but I remember selling it, and there were some nerdy ass people buying this game. Let me tell you that, Wes.
Oh, so I guess I'm a nerd because I bought it. I
Rightfully
bought
so.
it. I bought it.
I
I
mean,
bought one, two, and three.
that's not a surprise.
Number two, Rule of Rose.
Back to the horror.
Back to the horror. Complete in box, $789, and it peaked this past January. So
Yeah, it's just keeping it. It's just going to continue to rise in price. I mean, let's talk about it. The big names, right? We talked about Capcom. Going back to
mhm,
the Cubivore thing we talked about earlier in the show.
mhm.
Atlas. This is an Atlas game, an Atlas horror game. Yeah, people are going to want that. Absolutely.
Rule of Rose, man. I remember when it came out, and I've seen it a few times. I see Haunting Ground more so than Rule of Rose.
That's true. Do you ever think back to like when we worked at like EB Games and GameStop and
Mhm.
like, dude, I remember like opening boxes with like, I had like a fistful of Rule of Rose in my hand,
Mhm.
sealed,
Yep. Yep.
sealed. I could have bought all of them for $50 a piece.
And we didn't.
No, but games like that never dropped in price either. Like they sold what they sold. They sold at $50, and you never sold them again. Like
Exactly.
we would get one or two shipments of them, and that was it. But they never dropped in price because whoever wanted them got them, and they never made more of them.
Nope. Nope. There was kind of like the one and done. You got a shipment, and then that was it. Whoever pre-ordered it got it. And we had a few extras for the wall.
Hmm.
That was it.
Finally, we got Kuan. Going back to a second ago, speaking about like Atlas and Capcom, this was a From Software survival horror game, and From Software is like, everybody loves Souls games now. This is probably a big reason why this game is so sought after, and it's also rare. But the game is going for 1484 complete in box today, and it peaked in January for 1484. So it's a currently, at its peak right
Yeah.
now today.
Number one is Kuan. That's crazy. $1,400.
Here's what is crazy about Kawan. Do you remember in EB Games when we had dump bins?
Yes.
They're called dump bins. Let me think about that word in your head, guys. Dump bin. We literally dumped the crap that nobody wanted into these bins. They were
And
the
yep.
cheapest games we had.
Yep.
Kawan was in there. It was in there. I can see it like it was yesterday. I should have
Yes.
bought it.
Yes, it was. Yep.
It was probably a $10 game, Wes.
Yeah, Kuan was in there, and you know what else was in there? Disney basketball for GameCube.
Oh, that certainly was in there. Yeah, that
And that
game is so expensive.
it is so expensive. So yeah, it's I wish we had a time machine to go back and just kind of redo some of our mistakes. It's like now we know I would have bought two copies easy.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's some things you could guess at, right? But Kuwan wasn't one of them. Like, it didn't seem like anybody cared about that game. Like,
Mm-mm,
nobody wanted
mm-mm,
it. It was just,
mm-mm.
it came out, it released, and that was it. And like, I want to say it was an earlier PS2 game. I'm not saying first year, but maybe first two, something like that. I don't know, man.
Well, you said From Software. From Software at the time was known for Armored Core.
Yes, that's true.
So then they come out of nowhere with this game, and just like, what is this?
I don't even think it's a great horror game. I think it got like a 6 out of 10 or something. Like, it's like an average ass game. But it's a From Software game, so people want it now.
And it's $1,400.
$1,400 for a complete in box, not a sealed, a complete in box copy is $1,400.
Well, there you have it. The 10 most rarest PS2 games.
According to the gamer, that is the 10 rarest PS2 games. Absolutely.
I'm curious to see. So please leave a comment if you guys have any of these games
Yes, let us know.
or have come across them. Let us know.
All right, guys, we're here to wrap things up with the pulse check. So, if you don't know what a pulse check is, Wes and I each pick a higher price game and a lower price game. We talk about those prices to give you kind of a snapshot view. Now, in this episode of the show, we talked all about pricing, so it's like it's all going to kind of fit, right? But generally speaking, we talk about this snapshot view every single month that we do a show. So for this month, Wes, would you like to go first or second?
You can go first.
Let's start out with my low pick. My low pick is a classic, an all-time banger. Everybody loves this game, and if you don't, there's something truly wrong with you, and that is GTA Vice City for PS2. If not my favorite PS2 game, certainly one of them, for sure. Wes, the
Vice
game,
City was good stuff, man. Vice City was great. It had the best soundtrack.
the best soundtrack, the best actor, Ray Liotta. Come on, man. I, dude, the game was incredible. It was it was my favorite GTA game to this day, by far.
You like it better than San Andreas?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, like not even close. So Vice City, if you want a loose copy, Wes, I'm gonna put you back $6.50. If you decided you want a complete in box, $12.71. And if we're gonna break the bank and get a sealed copy, it's gonna run you $40. 40
That's
bucks.
that's cheap.
It's dirt cheap.
That's
Now,
that's really cheap.
this version of the game, I don't know if it's been patched, but this was re-released. So they re-released like a few of like the early GTA games.
Mhm.
It was called like the GTA trilogy, and they were like garbage. Like at least when they first released. So these games should still be the version that you want to play. Not only
Mhm.
that, the company who like did the port job used AI to do a bunch of stuff, and the AI did things wrong. So if unless they went back and fixed those by hand, you have a less superior version. So, in my opinion, if you want to play GTA Vice City, you should be doing it on the original Xbox or the original PlayStation 2.
Do you remember the CD set they released to go along with the game?
Yeah, man. I didn't get it, but I remember it.
I think it was what, 6 CDs, 4 CDs.
Yeah, it's like a box set.
Yeah, all
Mhm.
80s music. It was great. Flock of Seagulls. Oh man,
Guns N' Roses. Yep.
good stuff. Good stuff.
So that was my low pick. My high pick, I'm gonna be a Wes here. One of the only import games that I own. So this is like a specialized version that was released in the US. It came with a CD so you could play it in your Dreamcast. It's a certain version out. There is the official import version, but this is different. If you look on price charting, you will see the difference in price. So this is one of my more expensive Dreamcast games because I have the sealed version. The loose copy is only 1643. Complete in box is 69.61, so $70. But the sealed version, which is what I have, is $222. And this game again was a US release with an
Hmm.
import version and then a disc to play the import version on your Dreamcast. I know that
Really?
sounds weird.
It
Yes.
does sound weird. I never even knew that existed.
Yes. Shenmue 2, not the first one.
Huh. Does it? Oh, so yours is still sealed, so you
Mine is
don't
still
even know
I never
if it's
played
in
it.
English or not. Okay.
I have no idea. I could probably read the packaging and find out. But I think it was a PAL version. So I think
Hmm.
English is on there, and the disc, like whatever came with it, allows you to play it on a US Dreamcast.
Okay. Yeah, because I do have the PAL version of Shenmue too.
Yeah, so that's different from the version that I have.
Right. Did you like Shenmue?
It's okay. It's
I
all
love
right.
the first one. I love the first one.
Yeah, I never finished it.
The second one they released on Xbox, and then PS4 they did a Kickstarter for the third one.
Hmm. And they re-released 1 and 2 also.
Hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I love the first one.
Yeah, I would go back. I would play like the PS4 versions to play like a more modern version than those at this point.
Okay.
What about you? What are your picks?
All right. So my low pick is Star Wars Master of Terra's Kasi for the PlayStation 1. That was
Wes,
a
isn't that a notoriously like terrible game?
yes, it
Okay.
was a Star Wars fighting game. It was awful, but it was Star Wars. So I bought it. And I liked it just because. But just a CD, you're looking just under $10, like $9.73, complete in box, $19, and a sealed copy is $135. So just a disc, or if you can find a complete in box, it's worth it just to have it in your collection.
Sure. Just don't play it. Just put it aside and think that it's a good game.
But you have to play it just to experience the badness.
I
Being Luke
know.
Skywalker or Darth Vader, and you had your lightsaber, and you could throw your lightsaber, and you had Han Solo. You had all the Star Wars characters, but it was a fighting game. It was a you know, I I guess it was you can call it a 3D fighting game.
I guess you could call it a three. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember hearing that game was like one of the worst Star Wars games ever made. I never played it, so I can't judge it myself. But
But you know what? It had two things going for it that made it sell. You had the Star Wars license, and it was a fighting game. That right there. I mean, I remember when it came out, and it we sold out like crazy.
was this when like Episode 1 came out? Like, was it around that time or was it before then?
Ooh, good question. I think it was after that. I want to say it was after that.
I could see people being hyped for any Star Wars game just because if you weren't there when Episode 1 came out, that was a big deal. Like, even though people aren't really too fond of Episode 1 now, at the time, like, nobody cared. Everybody was just happy to have Star Wars back.
So this came out in 1997. So this was
Oh,
prior to Episode 1.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we were just excited to have something Star Wars.
Which also makes sense. It's like, the property you love has been dead as
Mhm.
far as movie goes for years. All you've gotten is like some video games and some books and stuff. And yeah, I guess you would take whatever you could get at that time.
That's it. And then my high pick was for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I picked Gal Fighters,
Yeah.
which is a fighting game with the characters were all female, and it was little chibi. They were the little chibi characters, the little squatty characters. Loose, just a cartridge, is $113. Complete in box is $360.
Hmm.
Ooh. And if you were able to find it sealed, $720.
What do you have?
I have a complete in box because
Okay.
I played it and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I figured you would have probably played that one, but if you had a sealed one, man, 720 would be
I
nice
know.
to have.
No, any of the Neo Geo Pocket Color games are pretty pricey.
Now, did these get? I know they re-released some Neo Geo Pocket Color games in the past few years. Do you know if that was one of them? I wonder if that affected the price at all.
You know, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, something for you guys to look up.
So those are my two picks, my high and the low. Gal Fighters and Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi.
There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of the Nerd Enthusiast Gaming Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode all about different prices of video games. If you liked what you heard today, please consider supporting us over on Patreon. Patreon.com/nerdenthusiast. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. Bernardo, thank you for your support this month, sir.
Thank you, Bernardo.
All the support you guys give to us goes right back into our shows, and we truly, truly appreciate your help. If you would like to support us non-financially, you can do so by giving us a 5-star rating over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Really helps us out a lot and only takes a few minutes of your time. Is there anything else I need to say?
Ring the bell. Subscribe. Oh, and then the other channel.
Make sure you guys check out our other channel too, which is just Nerd Enthusiast. Well, it's youtube.com/Nerd Enthusiast. That's our main channel where you guys can check all of our older content. You guys could subscribe to us there and here and like us, ring the bell, all that stuff would be fantastic. And also, if you want to check out any of our other stuff, go to nerdenthusiast.com. You can see a whole variety of our content on there. We have a blog on there. We have other people contributing things like our music podcast. We have a poker podcast. Please go check it out. Wes, I want to thank you for joining me today, sir. If people would like to follow you, where can they do so?
You can find me on Instagram and X
There you go.
at Grendel5XBX.
I'm Matt. You guys can follow me at FromNJ2CA over on X, which is gross, or Twitter, whatever you prefer to call it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the show. Until next time, you all take care.
Take care, guys.